Welcome to the second episode of the Business Clinic. With me today is Mr. Tinashe Bepe. Welcome, Tinashe.
Thank you so much, Rumbi. It's a pleasure.
Mr. Bepe is an author, an accountant, entrepreneur, and motivational speaker. Today, we are going to be talking about business sales. Everyone wants to start a business at one point or another. Tinashe, tell us, why business sales?
Thank you, Rumbi. It's a very critical topic that we are talking about today, and I'm so excited to be sharing with you this. The first thing that I want everyone to note, every entrepreneur gets into business for a different purpose.
That's true.
Others get into business for self-actualization. Others get into business for profit maximization. It is crucial to understand that when a person gets into business for profit maximization, they have to ensure that they are selling. Selling is critical to a business. Should I be a bit technical? From an accounting perspective, the first thing that appears on the profit and loss statement of any entity is the sales revenue. Many people have a very big challenge of not understanding what it's all about. They actually think they have a very good idea, good product, good this, but they don't understand that at the end of the day, that particular product has to be sold. That's what brings us into this particular topic of sales, and understanding that we can only maximize on profit when we are selling. So selling is very critical for every business that is going to survive, both in the short run and in the long run. Selling is critical, Rumbi.
Which takes me to my second point, which is, for how long have you been selling?
Interesting. We grew up in an entrepreneurial family. I've been selling my whole life.
Oh, wow.
My mother used to sell tomatoes. We used to have tuck shops. We used to do doilies, you know, the crochets. Yeah. We used to do quite a number of things, and we grew up to be an entrepreneurial family. We'll be selling each and every time. That brought me to the fact that when you have a product that you have developed, an idea that has been brought into a concept, that particular concept then has to be sold at the end of the day. So it's very, very important, Rumbi, to note that selling is critical. Selling is critical. I started from growing up, we were sellers.
So it's quite inspirational. I'm sure for many of our viewers, that's quite an inspirational story. Yeah, which then goes to show your experience. You're an accountant, Mr. Bepe. You're an author. You're a motivational speaker. That's a lot of things for one person to do, you know? So what skills does one need to be an effective seller?
You sell basically anything, all right? Motivational speakers, they sell their voices, right? Doctors, they sell their mind. Actually, I've got one of my motivational speeches that is called Start Something, which I mentioned something very interesting, where a doctor sells their mind, a lawyer sells their mind, a footballer, he sells his feet. Everyone literally is in the business of selling one way or the other. We are born to be salespeople. You cannot exist in this economy, in the situation, without selling something. You have to be seen to be selling something at any given point. So you will notice that when we talk about selling, we're just not talking about products that are tangible. You can also sell services, right? You can sell legal services. I'll talk about that. You can sell dental services. You can sell consultancy services. Everywhere people are selling, and it's critical for every entrepreneur to understand the concept of selling. Selling is indeed critical. Yeah, you can basically sell anything. You don't need skill to sell. Actually, subconsciously, we are always selling. We are always selling at any given point. We sell ourselves. Let me make it a little bit simple, Rumbi. To get into a relationship, you actually sold something. You actually sold something. You advertised yourself and you sold yourself. You said, I'm the best lady around compared to others. That sells. That's what it's all about. We don't need to create a storm in a cup of tea, Rumbi. We need to go and actually say, we have been doing this, but perhaps we have been doing it subconsciously, and now it's coming a time when we need to be conscious that we really need to sell. But one way or the other, people are selling, Rumbi. There is no qualification for selling. You don't need to have an expertise for selling. You just need to be deliberate about selling and say, I have this product, I have this gifting, I have this talent, and people need to hear about it, and I've got to sell it. That's what selling is all about. I don't need to be theoretical or too academic or try to bring in too many schools of thought. People have to understand that selling, we are selling every day. One way or the other, consciously or subconsciously, we are in the business of selling. That's what it's all about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very strong point, Mr. Bepe, because when you look at the way we're living right now, almost everyone is selling something, from bread to diapers to pipes.
Yeah.
There's a need in the market for something. People always need something.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, at the end of the day, everybody must sell something at some point.
Precisely. People have to be selling. I've got friends of mine that are lawyers. The challenge that they have faced over the years is that they actually thought that having studied a degree at the university, having an LLB in Zimbabwe, it actually means you're going to get money. That's not it. That particular product has to be packaged, branded, advertised, and sold at the end of the day. So the struggle with many entrepreneurs is not that they are not learned. It is because they cannot package that particular product, they cannot put it on the market, and they cannot put a price on that particular product. So you get to a surgery whereby you see a doctor who has many years doing medicine at university, but has failed to advertise that particular product, to say, hey guys, I'm a surgeon. You got to buy my services that I offer to you. It's a product at the end of the day that has to be sold to the world. This is why I put a challenge to everyone who is in business, who is an entrepreneur, to say that you have to learn the art of sales. You have to attend the school of selling. Because at the end of the day, whatever we achieve in this life has to be sold. I wanted to mention something very, very interesting about artists. You know, artists have a challenge that they're gifted. You might be the Picasso for a time, or the Da Vinci, or for a time you're a fine artist, right? You create these beautiful pieces of art. If you have these pieces of art in your backyard or wherever you do your work from, but you have the inability to go out there and say, guys, this is the best piece that is ever available on the market. People cannot know about it. How can people buy what they don't know? This is the challenge in business right now. Going into a little bit of different art compared to the fine art thing, you'll notice that musicians in general, right? They have a very big challenge about selling products. Gifted, beautiful voices, good artistry, nicely done video, but they cannot sell. This is where you see producers coming in and say, hey guy, you are a gifted guy, I noticed, but what you need to do now is you have to sign a contract with me so that when you record your stuff, I'm going to sell it for you and I get the money. So the producers then get the money, because people have not understood this concept that I'm talking about. This is why I want every entrepreneur to be able to sell. Many artists have been duped of much of their money, value for your talent, value for your gifting, because they can't sell. I'm appealing to everyone who has started a business, who's an entrepreneur, who think they have got something, they should be able to sell.
It's getting really hot in here. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.